All right, recording. I think it's recording. All right. What's up?
Yep.
We got Ethan here.
Yo.
What's up, man? This is Ethan's idea. We're gonna do a little commissioner's corner every week. Talk about JP League games on a weekly basis. Go game by game, anything to highlight. Kind of going towards you know, how Ethan's blog was structured last season. So just kind of shooting the shit. But yeah, man, thanks for this session and thanks for the stats. Ethan has the stats out. We'll send that out to you guys shortly. Um, week one was pretty awesome. What'd you think?
Week one was crazy. Yeah, lots to talk about. And I also got to say thanks for doing this. I was thinking the blog is just taking too much time, but people love the blog, so we got to do it in a more efficient way. So just get together, and I feel like people that we're the only two people that watch all three games each week. So it's natural for us to talk about it,
Yep.
and we could just devote, a couple minutes for every game, just shoot the shit and then upload it right to YouTube for people to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great idea. Cool. I mean, first thing, it's good to be back. I think I like kind of miss the energy that JP League brings, the excitement. It's just nice, like, being at your home and then going to the gym right next door and just seeing everybody in one place and then, everyone warming up for their games, talking about any excitements, like going over game plans, like everyone's like really strategizing. So it's nice to see that again. People sit in the stands, seeing the referees. So everyone in one place. I feel like it brings everybody together, which is nice. So I kind of miss that. What about you?
Yeah, man. It felt great. Um, I like the new faces in the league. Um, and yeah, it's nice to have like a little like change of pace, so to speak. Like a lot of the regulars aren't playing this season, right? So we have a lot of new guys, and it makes it feel like new again, you know?
Definitely makes it feel new. It kind of brings back like season one vibes. I feel like the the players that have been playing, every season, are now in like the mix of like brand new players. Like maybe like 40% of the players are brand new, haven't played before. So it's just kind of getting that like you said, that new feeling, and it just kind of reminds me of season one, which is awesome. And it's good. It's good for the community, just getting new faces to play, people moving in, introducing everybody. I sent like a little kind of like rookie welcoming posts just to get like names to faces. You see all these names on a piece of paper, and people are like, "Who's that?" So if you see any of these people, feel free to you should reach out and say hi. Like, everyone I've met most of those people, the new players. So they're all very friendly, and I've played with a lot of them. So, next time you see them, say what's up. How about you? Have you met most of those new guys?
Most of them, I don't think I've said hi to maybe a handful, but yeah, I got to second what you're saying. Like, love JP League for the community aspect, right? So you don't want to take it so serious that like you don't know anybody and like you don't like meet anybody on the court. Like then you're losing out on so much value that the league is bringing. So definitely try to make friends, even if they are, your adversaries for that day. Just like you should know people at JP.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Let's talk about game one. We have saving Captain Ryan versus Will Steal Your Lunch Money. I'm on Will Steal Your Lunch Money. We had five players that day. On the other team, they were so five players on my team were myself, Zay, Jared, John, and Bobby. And then Ryan's team, saving Captain Ryan, he had 7 out of 8. Ryan's unfortunately injured with a knee injury. So he's sidelined for at
How
least.
bad is his injury? Do you know?
I didn't ask him like timeline wise, but he was limping around, so I can imagine at least 2 or 3 more weeks, like, you know. So that's not 100% so. Don't quote me on that. But when I saw him, it looked like at least 2 weeks. Um, but he's missing. He's like their one of their floor generals, like their vocal leader. So definitely an important piece. We were missing um our captain. We also have an injury. Curry, he's out for 3 to 4 weeks at least.
It's that bad? 3 to 4 weeks, bro?
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, ankle sprain. That sucks. He was our fourth pick or third pick, and yeah, he's a really solid piece to our team. But he showed up to the game, showed some support. Ryan was obviously there, kind of directing his team. But the overall score, on the stat sheet, we'll steal your lunch money. Won 60-44. Um, First half, it was 30-25, pretty close. In the second half, it looks like Will Steal Your Lunch Money was just kind of holding on to a lead, but built it a little bit more. It was the scoring output was 19-30. So 30 points each half for Will Steal Your Lunch Money. Five guys. I'll tell you personally, like just my own take on the game was we're really tired. We're missing JC, our captain, so we all had to be very vocal and step up. Offensively, we moved the ball pretty well. They set up in a 2-3 zone in like the first half, and we're not the best shooters, but we were able to kind of break down their zone with our ball movement. So at least we would get like a wide open three, or at least break down the defense in a 5v4 situation when we rotate the ball. That's kind of how their defense broke down the zone. In the second half, they switched to man, which slowed us down a lot in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Kind of didn't really know. We didn't have like any strategy. We're just kind of out there playing. But Jared went lights out in the overall game. He scored 23 points, shot 60%. And he was drafted very late. He was a 6th-round pick. So if someone drops 23 is in JP League is actually very hard to do just because I just feel like the amount of possessions and there's different scenarios, but 23 is on the higher side for JP League. And as a 6th-rounder, he had a lot to prove, and he definitely showed out. Yeah, that's just talking from my own team's experience. How about you? What do you think about my team? And we can go to Ryan's team after.
I thought you guys played great. If I had written a blog post, I would have put you guys at number 1 in the power rankings. I really like your roster. And speaking of Jared, I was telling Louis that Jared just completes your team. Like that was, I think, the most clutch pick of the draft because when I take a look at your roster from just like the draft, right? I see obviously like really good basketball players, but I was like, I feel like you're more of a distributor. John Shu's more of a distributor. JC can score, but he wants to also be more of a distributor. He doesn't like to shoot it like every time, you know? So when I was looking at you guys, I'm like, you guys got size, you guys got rebounding, definitely defense. But then like when it's time to score, it's like who's gonna be the scorer? And then you picked up Jared like right in that late spot. And I was like, okay, we all know Jared is not like known for his defense, but put him on your team and everyone else can cover for him on defense and you can maximize his talent. It's like just let him go do his thing on offense, use all your energy for offense if you need to. We got you on defense. And so that was such a clutch pick by JC. And it showed right in the game. Like he did his thing, 23 points, leading scorer for the week.
Yep,
So
I
that's what
totally
stood out to
agree.
me.
Yeah, JC drafted this team very well. Props to him. I didn't have really much input. I was just like, yeah, I like this guy. And he's like, what do you think about him? Like, yeah, that sounds good. So it was mostly like I'd say it's like 95% him like throughout that whole draft. So props to JC for putting together that well designed, well crafted team. Yeah, I agree.
Hey,
He told his points. Yeah.
can I ask you a quick question? Was Jared pissed? that he got drafted that
No,
low?
I don't
Did
think
he say
so.
anything?
No, I don't think he actually said anything. I did mention like, like when I first saw him after the draft, it was like maybe a day or two after. I was like, bro, we're playing together. We never played together in JP League, like, but we love playing with each other in pickup. And he was like, I was like, bro, we picked you up mad like late. It was a steal. We had to get you. I was like, that was like a for sure 100% we're gonna get you if people pass on you. He's like, yeah, I don't know why I got drafted so late, but like that's all he said. He didn't say like he didn't seem like mad or anything, but he did have a comment about it.
Okay, okay. I felt like was he was thinking about it. I feel like he was trying really, really hard. I mean, he always goes hard, but I feel like it was a statement game for Jared.
Yeah, and also like, I think he knows the team pretty well too. So he knows like what people could do. And I think he knows that like offensively he has to step up anyway. So it's like almost like a win-win situation if I'm Jared. Like I get to play on a team that's kind of almost around me a little bit,
Yep.
or set up for
Perfect.
my
Perfect
success
pick.
type of thing, right? Um,
Exactly. Perfect pick. Completes your team.
yeah, and then one last thing I wanted to, I guess like Zay, rebounding monster,
Hmm.
shoots like 50%. He shot 41% this week, but on a good day, he'll shoot way higher than 50%. He'll get you at least 10 boards. He's a double-double machine. Um, and then really, obviously, John did his thing. John does like a little bit of everything. Like he was
Hmm.
our point guard. Distributes, just kind of chases the loose balls, like never gives up on a play, always like kind of pushes the break and directs a team very well. So, really good job from John. And then Bobby,
Six assists.
6 assists, yep. And then
Mm.
Bobby, I was actually very surprised in a positive way. Like I kind of knew he could play and pick up the times I played with him. Like, oh man, he's got a good first step. He's very active, like the way he moves off the ball. Defensively, he's not a slouch. He's actually very solid on defense. He did draw 4 fouls, so maybe that's like a little bit of an experience thing because I did see him reach a little bit. But like when I see him move, he's quick and he's pretty strong. And he's like, he's pretty big. So I thought he moves his feet very well. He got to the right place. He took the right shots. He made the right passes. He made some good plays. I really like playing with him. I'm glad we have Bobby on our team. He's also a rookie. He's one of the new faces. So I did see him in the gym one day, and I was like, "Yo, Bobby, you should play." And I guess like I never really like talked to him like that. And he's like, "You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna try to sign up this season." That evening, he signed up the form, and then we ended up being, drafted. He drafted on the same team. So I was like, damn, it's awesome. So I'm glad that happened.
Yeah. Bobby, Bobby's good. I played with him before. Most people haven't, I feel like,
Yeah.
but he's solid. Like he didn't get blown by, I don't think, a single time on defense. Like he moves his feet laterally, like very quickly, and then his balance, like he doesn't like fall. Like I feel like he's always getting his torso and his chest like right in front of the defender when the defender wants to go by. And he's not like hand checking with his hand. He's actually just like, because he's so fast laterally, he's just beating them to the spot and just kind of like pressing up against them. It's like textbook defense. He did pick up 4 fouls, but from the film that I saw, like, yeah, the defense was solid.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I had on my team. You have anything else you want to mention?
Let's shift the focus over to Ryan's team because I have something to say about Ryan's team for
Yeah, go
sure.
ahead, kick it off.
I feel like Ryan's team, they were lacking effort. Like they had like scrimmage energy. Like they didn't have like real game energy. Like they came out and they were just kind of like it was almost like a scrimmage for them. And I think Zhang Chi, Ryan's friend, first round pick, he averages a double double in TDL. So he can be a monster big, but I just felt like he wasn't very assertive and his like body language, I don't want to read too much into it, but just based off of his body language is almost like I'm just here doing this for Ryan. And when I get the ball, I guess they told me to shoot it, so I'm gonna shoot it. Like that's kind of what I saw on film, but it's like, you got to come to compete, right? Like it's almost as if they didn't believe that they could win. They just kind of came to do their part and like clock out almost. That's what I saw. I hate to be so harsh on, I don't know if I'm being harsh on them, but I mean, I feel like that's the energy that I saw from the game.
Gotcha. No, that's an interesting perspective. I didn't catch that all, like at least like, from what I saw. For me though, I think you're right about Zhang Chi. He's very good. The times he touched the ball in like the low block, if you get it there, he's like 70% like field goal percentage. He turns around, he has a nice little fadeaway. He's for sure the best player on their team. I personally think I understand what you're saying about him not feeling like, the winning energy. I think the team is underutilizing him in a way. I think they're not giving him enough touches, setting up for him. If like I guess if you want to say, I think they should set up more. Not even it could be a play, it could be like something simple just to get him like a quick look in like that low post, like or even that high post area so he can go and like we just like the team needs to space out, let him attack, draw a double, and at least kick out. But I think he could be, like you said, double double just like in TDL. And I personally think they're underutilizing him. They need to do a better job. Not just like, hey, like, yo, just give him the ball and let him work, but like that could be an option. But like even just setting up something simple for him to get an easy look and just like a layup, just get his confidence going. So I feel like not I don't know if those guys like actually play together like often. It seems like they don't really know each other that well, their games. So I think there maybe that's where the lack of trying comes from. It's like I don't really know these guys. I just gotta like don't want to step on anyone's toes and like just kind of, So that might be part of it. Um yeah, so that's just talking about him. I also think Chris or you Fong, he's good too. I think he's also a low post like a solid low post player. Um, but I see him like just sitting in the corner, which is fine with me because I've never seen him shoot a three. So at some points I was guarding him, and in the post he scored on me like easily. He just literally just turned around, and just shot it, and he had like maybe one other attempt when I was guarding him down there, and he missed, but it was like a very solid look. And then rest of the game, I was like was chilling, like because he was in the corner. So I feel like he's a little underutilized. So I think him and Zhang Qi are like a similar role. Andy's also kind of a similar role, but Andy's not exactly a back to the basket low post type player. Andy, I would say, is more of a stretch four that can rebound and pass. But yeah, I think they just need to figure out like roles and like how to best utilize these guys' strengths. I was very impressed with Zenyi. Zenyi had like some pretty deep threes. Like his 3-point shooting was pretty solid that night. I think he shot 50%. This team, I think, could be very good. Louis obviously directing traffic, took a lot of shots, but yeah, they weren't having the offense like really. It wasn't easy for them, I guess. Like it seemed like every shot was kind of a struggle. Um, Not too much flowed, a lot of driving kicks from what I remember. Yeah, like I think they just underutilized their big men inside to open up at least like an easier shot for their 3-point shooting. So um, I think KG like had some tough finishes. He played pretty well that day. He's a little too like I can't really describe it. Like I feel like he's gotten a lot better and his finishes are
Hmm.
really good. And I've seen him shoot the ball really well in pickup, but I think there's just something missing about him. Like I think they need to make like a decision quicker on the ball. Like either,
Oh, 100%.
yeah, like
100%. I told him in the elevator, I'm like, dude, like you're dribbling too much. Like he dribbles like I counted on video. He dribbles like 13 times in like one possession. And it's like your moves are good. because I've played him in pickup. He's quick, he's athletic,
He's
he's lost a
strong,
ton of weight. He's even more, yeah, he's very strong. So it's like just get into your move faster, and then if it's not there, just pick it up and like pass it to someone else and let them try. Like you need to keep the ball moving, right? That swing
right?
pass is so simple but so good, right?
Ball moves
Like he just
faster
needs to
than a person.
exactly. He just needs to make the decision faster. And it's okay, like if your first move doesn't work or your second move doesn't work, but if you're going into like the third move, the fourth move, and going into your James Harden, like James Harden game, like that's gonna just yeah, kill the offense.
Yeah, you're right. I think KG, like you said, just make your first move doesn't work, just pass it, like cut through, whatever, right? Yeah, if it's yeah, I totally agree. He needs to definitely make a just a faster decision and a good decision. Like needs to be a little bit more clear there. Yeah, it looked like yeah, they just didn't have anything like clear, like doesn't really know like not everyone knows their roles, not sure what's going on. I think this team has a lot to prove. They have a high ceiling. They could be so much better. And I think because Will Steal Your Lunch Man only had five, like they kind of like understood like, all right, like this guy's doing this guy's doing this. They had like a little bit more, we had like a little bit more of a game plan on on our roles and what to expect. So I think because of that, like, it looked a little bit more smoother at least. I mean, there were certain times we were struggling to score too against the man to man, but I think we are a little bit more experienced. Like some of the guys are a little bit more experienced, which helps. And
Definitely.
everyone just kind of buys into like, okay, like this guy's trying to do this. All right, let me just like take a back seat and like let's see how this play develops. And then that doesn't work, we'll try something else in the next possession. But I think for saving Captain Ryan, they don't have anything like that yet.
They gotta play with the energy that Louis and Jerry played with. I liked Jerry's drives. Every time he went in strong, and he was playing with a lot of energy. Like
Yes.
if they all play like that, like you said, uh, well, you said they have a lot to prove, but I don't even know if they feel that way. Like the way that they play, they didn't show that to me, right? If you have something to prove, you play like you have something to prove, and
Yeah.
they didn't play like that. I'm not convinced.
And then yeah, oh, I also do have to call out like they didn't mention they were complaining at the end of the game about a lot of foul calls being or like the referees calls and stuff. I reviewed the game. There was definitely one call I did not agree with like 100%, which Louis had like a wide open three and I think he like was called for a double dribble. That was clearly not a double dribble, but
Yep, that not a double dribble.
right, yeah, that was not a double dribble. And I think like everything else, I mean, it seemed like it was okay. Like it wasn't I didn't think it was like too one-sided like the way they described. So I was just reviewing that. Um but yeah, we'll see how they do next week. And then I think we'll see your lunch money will have a little bit another player. JC will come back next week, so I think we'll be a little bit better with one sub on the bench at least.
All right. Should we go on to the next one?
Yeah, let's go. This is your game, Paw Patrol versus Mo Money, Mo Buckets. The end result, it was a close game. You guys were down. Paw Patrol won the game 60 to 51. In the first half, Paw Patrol was down 1 point, 25 to 26. And then Paw Patrol outscored Mo Money, Mo Buckets 35 to 25 in the second half to win by 9. So they had that second half run, which definitely um, you know, I definitely remember what it kind of led to that. Um, yeah, man, why don't you talk since this is your team? Let's talk about your team.
For my team, where do I want to start with? Um, I mean, Josh I think, the best game of all three
Josh
games.
Schwartz.
He had
Josh
20
Schwartz.
points. Yeah, Josh Schwartz because we have two Joshes on our team. We have Josh Schwartz and Josh Liu. So we're talking about Josh Schwartz. He had 20 points. He made five threes. He shot 78% from the field,
Dude,
had
he was
eight
on fire.
rebounds, but five assists, two steals, and only three turnovers. So Jared outscored him, scoring 23 points himself, but the overall stat line here is just like he was doing everything. So definitely for me, I think not to be biased or anything, but I just think he had the best game.
He definitely did.
And then I really like this guy, Joe Park. He's like a throwback to like post game, like strong physical post game. Josh Shorts was saying he might have played college football in college. Uh,
He's
none
an
of us knew
athlete. He
that.
moves
We
like an
just
athlete.
read your little blurb. Okay, we just read your little blurb in the draft sheets. Like he likes to go for rebounds. And we're like, okay, that sounds good. We need a guy like that. And I think we drafted him in like the seventh round or something. And I feel like he's gonna be the steal of the draft. It's gonna be between like him or Jared. It's gonna be hard to compare the two because obviously Jared's gonna score more, but the things that Joe brings, like I really, really like his game.
Yep. He's a new face. When I first saw him play, he was very aggressive. Like he had a good like he was explosive. I didn't see him shoot, but the way he described himself in the form that it was like he was like a D and three type shooter, like he's a 3-point shooter. But I don't even think he shot a three in that game. He had like the you
Nope.
described him as a low post, like old school. So I was like, man, this guy's everything, huh? No, but he's solid. I agree. Josh like killed it. He was like torching everybody. Like he might have had like five threes or six threes that game. And yeah, he did everything. Like he was just unstoppable. Um, your team is very well built. Let me see. And once you guys have Brian M, Movil, it's gonna be really, really solid squad. He's the type that like hustles for every possession, like yourself. So you in that game, you did everything the team needs. You got 11 rebounds, you had six assists and two steals. Like defensively, you were active in every play. I remember you were like you played 80% of the game, and like those but that was like you going 110%, and then you needed that break, and you would sit out for 2 minutes, and then you come back and you'd step on the gas again. So like that really helped the team get those extra possessions. Um, I see Josh Liu had a lot more shot attempts than he did last season. Took 14 shots. He made a
Oh
couple
yeah.
mid range.
Yep.
He had like 2 points in the first half, I remember, and then 8 points or something like that in the second. Finished with 11, 9 rebounds. That's really solid. Someone who's, I would almost like forget that he played last season because I feel like he was underutilized last season. And you mentioned that in
Yeah,
the draft. Really like the twin,
totally.
Brian Huang. This is his first game in JP League, and he took 13 shots. Very confident in his shooting ability, and some of
Let's
them were
go.
like in and out. Like they look good. His form looks really solid. His brother was guarding him. It's so funny. His twin brother was guarding him, and I think at one point, oh no, that wasn't Brian. I called Anthony his brother Brian once. I got them confused accidentally because we don't have the jerseys yet, so that was my bad. But you guys are both very good. So Brian had a nice 10-point outing. Didn't shoot the highest percentages, but he felt confident out there, which is nice. You don't really see that in someone who's kind of starting off JP League. And then Scott did his thing. Scott had a couple good finishes inside. Needs to do a little bit better on the turnovers, but that's everybody. This is his second season, I think, right? Yeah, it's his second season.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Second season.
yeah, I know he'll just get better. He always gets better every time I see him in pickup or wherever. So I know he's always gonna get better. But yeah, you guys have a really well put together team, offense and defense, like size, a little bit of mix of everything. So kind of reminds me of my team.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play on my team. Your team is definitely bigger than our team, but Yeah, well, both of our teams had really good drafts. Again, not trying to be biased. I feel like Schwartz, every single pick in every round, he made a good, solid pick. So I'm feeling really good about my team. Um, should we say something about Mo's team? You want me to
Yeah, yeah,
start?
of course. Yeah, sure. So Mo's team,
So,
yeah. Oh, you want to start or you want
oh,
me to
you want
start?
to get?
No, you start.
I'll start.
You
I'll
had
start.
the, yeah, you had the stuff already ready.
So, the thing that really stuck out to me was the way that Anthony played. And so, like in the draft, if you remember, there are these twins, Brian and Anthony Huang. And people were saying that one brother is better than the other, but we didn't know who was who because they just recently moved into the building. They were playing, but like nobody really got their name. And so I was going around desperately trying to find out, well, who is the better brother? Because we want to be fair. We want to put it in the draft notes like, this is the one that's supposed to be better. If you just look at their face, right, they're twins.
Yes.
So no one could say with 100% certainty that like Brian or Anthony was the better brother. Like some people told me like, oh, Brian, but I think it's like 75% him. They would always qualify with like a percentage. And so it was like super frustrating. But anyway, um, my team ended up drafting Brian, and then Mo ended up drafting Anthony. And Mo told me that he told Anthony about the whole brother thing, and that must have really, really motivated him because, dude, he was going off. Like you were watching that game, right? He was playing with like Mamba mentality. Like, he made four threes, came out red hot, he had this one drive against his brother where he blew past his brother and then like Josh Schwartz came on the help defense and then he like contorted his body like in midair and he like put up like a lefty like over
I
his
saw
head like
that.
hook
That
shot.
was
Do you
fire.
remember
That was
that one?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. He was playing super hard and he ended up outscoring his brother. He scored 16 points, had three rebounds, one assist, only two turnovers. And like I said, he made four threes. He also made two of two free throws. So like yeah, his points per possession, 1.147. Anytime you're above like zero point 0.9, it's good. His true shooting percentage was 67%. Like he definitely made a point like to like not look down on him. And so yeah, that's what stood out to me the most. I was very impressed with that. I love when guys come out with like a fire and compete. So yeah, I gotta give Anthony props for that.
Oh yeah, he was their leading scorer. He had 16 points. He was on fire. I was like hyped every time he touched the ball and just scored. Really nice to see him and his brother, just kind of making a statement, and especially him with that whole situate that background. Stepping up as a new, these are new faces, new guys in the league, and doing really well. So it's awesome to see that. We I did see there's I feel like some shooting struggles like from everybody, like just maybe just not exactly. I think that's the next game I'm thinking about. This game I feel like they most team had it like pretty well together in the first half and they were up by one. And then in the second half, I just felt like there were some bad turnovers that kind of curbed the momentum a little bit. I just remember your team like out hustling for boards. So I think like rebounds were like an issue. And I think this is like I'm not even looking at the stats. This is just based off memory. But I think they were struggling for just getting rebounds. And I think, what I mentioned before, you and like Josh, Lou and Joe, like being really aggressive on those boards, um, really helps separate and build that lead further for your team in the second half when maybe most team wasn't having as much of an offensive presence. Also, Josh being on fire, like I just remember him hitting some like crazy threes whenever like most team would score to kind of answer and just like kind of continue building that lead. So I think that was the biggest difference. And I think one of the main things we talked about in post draft was, Mo Willems and Brandon. Brandon is, considered like kind of like a hybrid big man guard, and he's very athletic. He could get boards, but that might have affected because he went small. His next pick, I think, was Luis.
Mhm.
It might be Luis, yeah. So him going smaller, uh, might affect those situations like getting out rebounded by a bigger team. And you guys didn't even have Brian M. And Brian M is just he's one of the tallest guys in the league and solid rebounder. So imagine, having him as well. That could have definitely seen a bigger difference. But I think it came down to that at the end. It was like just the size really helped Paw Patrol, your team, uh, build upon that lead.
Yeah, I don't want to read too much into it, and I don't want to look, down on most team because they didn't have Stephen Dung, right? And he's a solid player, definitely a difference maker for them. But you reminded me of what I thought initially when I was looking at the draft, and if I had written a blog, I would have mentioned this. Yeah, by picking Brandon and then not picking up a big later, he purposely went with, a very wing heavy, guard heavy team, and so that's going to be something that they have to deal with, right? They have no true big on their team, might create rebound and physicality problems for them. I'm not gonna, count them out by any means because every player on that team is skilled and good. Um, but yeah, definitely rebounding could become an issue for them, so they're gonna have to stress that in their game plan.
They need to also, set up. So they also have Andrew Cho and Michael Kim, who I know, in pickup are 3-point specialists, and them two combined had a 1 for 8 or like a 1 for 7 on the 3-point line. So I think their 3-point shooting needs some better setup or faster ball movement. I do remember seeing some frustration because I do see some like ISO balls type situations, but the off ball movement might need to be a little bit better on Mo Money, more Mo buckets to get these shooters like into their spots to get a wide open three instead of like a drive and then like a late kick out and like maybe not a great pass and defenders like half a step away to kind of contest. So there's some sort of setup for their to utilize their shooters, um, whether that's like some sort of off ball action or anything like that. I think would definitely help those percentages go up and the team feeling a little bit more incorporated. But this is JP League. Every season's a new team, and you have to kind of adapt. So it's a challenge, and I think that's one of their biggest challenges. How do we overcome that? Um, cool. We'll see what they have next week. Do you have anything else you want to say about their team?
Um, One last thing, I thought Jeff Liu needs to play better. So he played really great last season. The crazy thing is he went undrafted, and then he had an all-star level season. I think he averaged like 16 points a game. And so we all know what he's capable of. He's been in the gym, getting more athletic. Um, yeah, he's got to be better for them. So I'm looking out for him, and I'm expecting big things from him this season.
I think that's a good point to mention, and that kind of goes back to what I was discussing before to like some sort of off-ball action. I think this team is too ball dominant. Everybody in the team kind of needs the ball to kind of do something, and I think that's going to affect how Jeff plays because
Mm,
not saying Jeff is ball dominant, but it looks like he does well when a team kind of will set up for each other, like more of like a positionless type offense where 5 guys get the touch on each possession and then like someone will shoot it or someone will get an open shot. I think he like thrives in those types of environments. He's a team player from what I've seen. So
mm,
in situations where he's not getting the ball and then it's his turn to go ISO because now he has the ball and he's like, okay, I haven't really done anything. Let me do something. He'll like do something extra and then get a turnover or like take a bad shot or something. I think that's what that's why Jeff had a bad game. And I think that's just the environment that he's in. It's his team. Each player kind of needs the ball to kind of be effective. So if they're able to kind of find a good balance, I think they'll improve a lot within the team. And yeah, I think that's again like it goes back to what I was saying about JP League being adaptable. Um, and I think that's why your team is good because like I don't think there's that like I need the ball. Like you just kind of keep it moving. Like, yeah, Shorts will have the ball a lot and stuff, but um you want the ball in his hands and then you make the right plays. Everyone else doesn't seem like they're ISO except maybe Brian, because Brian and Anthony were just kind of going at each other the whole game whenever they had the ball. Then
Loved it. Loved
yeah.
it.
But yeah, like most team, like for example, like Luis, he's really solid scorer. On the one ISO, Anthony, the twin, who went ISO for the most part to go score. Brandon, he likes having the ball in his hands. Mo, I know Andrew and Michael, they like to pass and cut, but those are the shooters, like I mentioned. Like I think for them to thrive, they need to have like a maybe a little bit more touches and plays off the ball. And I think that's the same with Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff, if I were them, I would put Jeff more into the post because looking at their roster, I mean, he's pretty much the only one who works out of the post, and he's so effective in the post, especially against a slightly shorter player, slightly athletic player. He has that little hook shot, and he jumps up even higher now. He has great touch. Um, I don't remember him getting that hook shot off in the game. That can be a weapon for them. If he's gonna, he can play both inside and outside, right? So if he doesn't utilize that inside game and he only is utilized for his outside game, now it's like just like you said, everybody on their team has overlapping skill sets and they're all just playing 5-out offense, but they're not doing the cutting aspect of the 5-out offense. And so that's going to be really tough for them.
Agreed. All right. Last game. We got Team Kevin Diaz. This was a double overtime game versus Taylor Swifties. Kevin Diaz's team, it's not even his team. Jones, the captain, he named his team Kevin Diaz. And then so Team Kevin Diaz, they won by 50 by 2 points, 56-54. Um, Double overtime. Great game
Mhm.
at the end. Um, do you have any starting thoughts?
I mean, this game had everything. It was an amazing game to watch. Um, Not for its basketball beauty.
Right.
Like so some parts of the game, I that like circus song was like playing in my head, like do 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 do.
Yep.
Like there were so many
I was gonna say that.
turnovers. The ball was like ping pong everywhere. People were missing shots, and then clearly could get the rebound, but then the ball would like go off their finger out of bounds, and then they would like look up like, how did I not grab that rebound? They were It was crazy. And then yeah, the double overtime. Edgar hit this really clutch three at the end of regulation, down three to force the first OT. And then he had a chance to send them home in the second OT. He got a really wide open three in the same spot, almost in the same spot. He hit that game tying three in regulation, but he ended up missing. And yeah, it was a really fun game to watch. Stayed for the whole thing.
Yep. Um, I have to agree with you. I'm like rewatching the game earlier today, and I'm like watching like 5 to 10 minutes of this of like just constant turnovers, like air balls, like horrible passes, and losing the ball. It was bad. The quality of basketball for a couple of minutes is just like, man, what's going on? And yeah, it looks like both teams need a
Wait,
lot of work.
you got to. I forgot about Kenny. You want to talk about what happened with Kenny?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, Edgar hit the game tying three in the second half, brought into overtime. And then, in overtime, both teams scored four. But I think in the last possession, Taylor Swifties had the ball. Had to be like maybe like 10 seconds left or something like that. And Kenny has the ball, and this guy is like avoiding the defense. He's at the half court line, like avoiding all the defense. It's a tie game. They need to score the ball, but the clock is just running down. He's holding it for 10 seconds. Everyone's confused out of their mind. I'm confused. Like, why isn't he going for the basket? Like, why isn't he shooting it? And he eventually just dribbled it out until I think the time went out, and people were like, "Shoot the ball, Kenny! Shoot the ball!" Like they're counting them the time and everything. And Kenny was unaware the game was tied, and the ref Stan, after that overtime ended and they went to double overtime, he called Kenny J.R. Smith, and I lost it. Like I was dying. It was so funny. And yeah, just it was just one of those mistakes that he just didn't realize that the game was tied. He needed to score. It doesn't matter how. So I think both teams were in the bonus at that point. If he got fouled, they would at least get to the free throw line. But yeah, hilarious moment. Kenny, that's probably going on Shackton. I gotta find that clip. I'm probably gonna put together that like in a real.
Yo, the play is even more funny because Joan is the one guarding Kenny, and like you know how Joan plays defense when he's like really into it. He's like go, doing this with his arms. He's going crazy. Like he's like, oh, gotta distract Kenny, gotta distract. But Kenny's like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like,
Why
just
are
gonna
you
dribble
doing
out
this?
this clock.
You should be fouling me, Joan. You
And
should be
then
fouling me.
the J.R. Smith thing, there's that iconic photo where LeBron has his like arms out like this,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
He's like, yeah.
Pointing towards like J.R. Smith. And then after Kenny runs out the clock, Edgar actually goes up to Kenny and like does like the same like hand movement, like
Yeah, no.
so
Oh my
funny,
God.
hilarious. If you haven't seen it on video, like go
I'm
see it
gonna
on video.
watch
It's
that. I didn't watch it
hilarious.
to the end. I didn't remember seeing it in the game, but I didn't watch when I rewatched the video. I didn't see it. It's so funny. Oh my God. Um, yeah, that was amazing. So that led to double overtime, and then Kenny's team ended up uh losing because in the double overtime, I think they scored 2 points, and yeah, that's just how it ended. Um, yeah, so Taylor's Swifties. Edgar's the captain. I thought he played pretty well. Edgar played well. They're missing Taylor, who's probably out for most of the season due to a dislocated shoulder, which sucks. And he was like
Yeah.
I would say like their first and second pick. He was the second pick or first pick, whatever, because Edgar had the last pick. Um, you know, I think yeah, like they had a lot of I feel like they just didn't shoot well. Like they just kind of like took a ton of shots. I remember Zach missing like a ton of threes and free throws. I think Sen missed like a ton of like shots as well. I think Kenny missed a ton of free throws. Ed missed a ton of free throws. I think if they hit all their free throws, they would have won by like a lot.
Yeah, do you see the free throw numbers? 6 of 25.
Oh
They
shit.
they went to the free throw line. They went to the free throw line 25 times, and Kevin Diaz only went to the free throw line 6 times.
All right, so
So
that's
yeah,
actually
if they
for
just
sure.
shot a respectable number,
If they shot
they would have
50%,
for
they would
sure
win the
won.
game. Yeah, that's crazy. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
So Taylor Swifties, work on your free throws because 6 or 25 is abysmal.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Um,
Uh,
and then the other thing that I want to talk about is I messaged you last night freaking out because I thought we got the score wrong.
yep.
So when I was doing the video, I actually had Kevin Diaz only scoring 20 points in the first half. And so with that slight change, at the end of regulation, Kevin Diaz would have had 49 points total, and Taylor's team would have had 50 points total, meaning
Yep.
that they should have won the game. And then in OT1, even if both teams scored 4 points again, it's like Taylor Swifty should have won after OT1 as well. But the real difference was just the 2 points in OT2. So it's like, whoa, like what's going on here? And also what should we do about this situation? So I was like, oh God, I really, really hope this didn't actually happen. And then I asked you to double check it. And then we figured it out. Uh, and this is also gonna probably cause some controversy. I think Taylor's probably gonna sue you, by the way. He's probably gonna contact his like local congressman
Yeah,
and like write a letter. But
you would.
the reason why not Kevin Diaz's team, but Kevin Diaz uh scored 21 points in the first half and now 20 was because on video, Joan took a two at the end of the first half, where on video it's clear that his feet are on the line. And so I scored it as a two. But then in the actual game, Stan the ref, who's on the opposite baseline, signaled for a three, right? And so they got that extra point. And you did the right thing as the scorekeeper. You can't overrule the ref's signal. He signaled it as a three. And yeah, that was the discrepancy. And if you look at it on video, it's really, really clear it was a two.
Yeah, that sucks because when I rewatched it, I mean, I didn't catch it in the middle of the game either. So, in the game, I thought it was a three, but I didn't like watch, the foot placement or anything like that. But when you're rewatching the video on YouTube, you do see Jones' foot is inside the 3-point line, and it should have been counted as a two, but the referees counted as a three. So scorekeepers, just counted the score as a three. So, and that's in, all like leagues and regulations, like referees, hand signals, when they count as a three, the scorekeeper just needs to, register those points. But yeah, that sucks. I mean, it was a hard angle. I think the ref was on the opposite corner when he made that signal for the 3-point shot. So it's hard to really catch in the middle of the game. But yeah,
But
that
even then, I don't think it's like the difference in the game. Like if they were up, right? If like let's say okay, so the game came down to Ed shooting that three at the very end, and he shot that three thinking he was down three to tie the game. But
right.
then if the correct call had been made on Jones' 2-pointer earlier, then now it's a 2-point game. And maybe they go for a different shot. Maybe they miss that shot. Even if they get that same three, now there's more pressure on you to go for like the go ahead three, right? Just like it
Right.
was in like OT2 when Ed had a wide open three. It's a different type of shot, right?
Yep.
So you can't say like they should have won the game. You never know what would have happened.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that was definitely unfortunate, but yeah, you're right. Um yeah, I think from what I remember in this game, going by each team, I think, you know, Taylor Swifties just kind of had like it was just like whose turn it was on ISO. Like that's just how they seem to play. They got a couple like good steals, which led to fast break opportunities. Kenny and Sen are very good in like the fast break, like at least finishing. So yeah, I think that was like the main highlights I saw from their offense. But their 3-point shooting, I feel like wasn't like the best, and I just feel like their shooting in general wasn't really that good. But they did make the shots they can, and obviously their free throws, right? So, once they kind of like maybe take better shot selections, just make some free throws, this team should have won by like 10, according to the stats at least.
Yeah. And that last pick that they had, Manuel Tapia, you
Yep.
said that he's like a go-to scorer, like he can get buckets.
Yeah,
So
he's
maybe that'll
aggressive.
help.
I think he's good. He's a good playmaker. He's a good point guard. Let me look at this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's somebody like that would definitely help this team a lot. Um, he'll help facilitate. Uh, he's aggressive too. So like I think he's only a plus. And now they got him in the last round. So I think he's a steal, to be honest.
I've never seen him play, so I'm looking forward to see how he plays. Um, Let's talk about Kevin Diaz, Team Kevin Diaz. Um, anything on their side sticks out to you? What do you remember from the game?
Yeah, so I think this team also didn't shoot the best in terms of like, you know, threes and like just in general, right? I think let me look at their field goal percent. All right, like 33%. It's not terrible. Could be worse. The other team shot 25%. So Team Kevin Diaz, I saw Kevin actually had a very good game. He had a double double,
Hmm
16 and 12. He shot really well. Um, and he hit like just kind of like shots that like anytime, Swifties would like kind of get some momentum, he would be there to kind of like he would answer. So I thought Kevin had a good game. Uh Leo had a decent game. He definitely put up the boards. Like he was their rebounding big man. Got 15 rebounds, which is really great. Had 13 points. But I just feel like he didn't look I feel like he's either underutilized or like they're not using him the right way. It just seems like the team needs a little bit more structure on like a setup. They should probably set up around him. He didn't look too confident having the ball in his hands. Took a couple like, maybe not the greatest shots, but double double, you can't really teach that. So if they find a way to kind of maximize his potential, you're going to definitely see a really solid season from him. And then who else? I mean, um, Brian Lee's a rookie. He um, he didn't shoot the best. He had like a few boards, but he looked a little. He has a finger injury. Joan also has a hand injury. They both have hand injuries. So they didn't play their best. Joan played pretty good, but Brian didn't play his best in his rookie debut. Had 6 turnovers, and shot like 1 for 8. I think he has a lot to prove. Um, Maybe like we'll have to like see how he develops throughout the season. They're also missing their second pick, Jeff Zhang. He's out with an
hmm
so a lot of injuries as well. So like
hmm
Jeff is a key piece of the offense. Like with Jeff, we'll definitely get a little bit more threes. He's a good defender. He's got some size, like 6'1". He can guard like 1 through 5. And then yeah, once he's back, he'll definitely elevate this team.
Yeah, that's what I would focus on. Like they won by a hair, but if they had Jeff, I think they would have won the game outright. Um, I guess it's not a completely fair comparison because like who knows what would happen if Taylor was on Taylor Swifties as well, like if everyone was healthy. But yeah, Jeff John makes a huge difference to Jones' team. I think Leo, like you said, had a decent game, 13 points on 17 shots. That's, like providing a certain level of efficiency that, keeps them in the game. So
Hmm.
he can definitely be more efficient. Um, I feel like he needs to stop settling for the three. Like he's falling in love too much with the three, and he can get that three off whenever he wants. So it's very easy to fall in love with it. But I have yet to see him shoot like a really good percentage from three. So it should kind of like he should shoot the three almost like a Tim Duncan. Like only when you're like forced to shoot it. Like his whole game should be like 3-point line inward. And I agree with you that they need to kind of like set him up more. Um, like I don't think he likes to post up with his back to the basket every time. Like I just don't think he enjoys playing that way. But if they could if they could do like a 4 out 1 in offense where he sets up on the weak side block and then on the strong side wing, if they could beat their defender and drive to the basket and make Leo's defender make a decision to either come for the help defense or stick on Leo. And if they do come with the help defense, they just like dump it off to Leo. Like he's gonna finish that every time. Like that's got to be like 95% success rate. Like, and I think that would get him more excited about being on the team versus like, hey, you just go in the post and do back to the basket and we're gonna throw it to you every time. I just don't think he likes playing that way.
Yeah, it seems like he's not like that type of player. He doesn't seem like much of a pick and roll type guy either. It seems like, whoever, like, let's say Joan was bringing up the ball, they would have to call for a screen. I think that's not like maybe his game. I haven't had a chance to play with him much, but I think he has a high ceiling. And if they find a way to kind of best utilize him in his game, um, he'll definitely have a lot more output. Like you said, he'll definitely be more motivated to play. Um, who else? Yeah, I mean, Joan had a pretty solid game. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, um,
Hmm.
only 2 turnovers, so that assist to turnover ratio is really good. Um,
They needed that. They needed that for
yeah,
sure.
I thought he played well, and he has an injury, so he definitely did the best he could out there. Min had 10 boards. This guy always gets the rebounds, 3 blocks.
Oh, every time.
Yeah, once he adds, like, he's just like deceptively in the right place, the right time, getting these extra possessions for his team. He just needs more confidence, I think, in his shot. I think he passed up on a three to like ball fake drive on the baseline one possession, and I think it led to Kevin Diaz getting like a pretty good like cut floater in the middle, but I think they ended up getting called for 3 seconds on that. But yeah, I think he just needs a little bit more confidence. Doesn't have to be a 3 pointer; it could be like a little mid range. I've seen him shoot the mid range pretty well. So yeah, once he gets a little bit more confident and once he gets a shot going, that's definitely going to uplift the team. Peter, who's a new player, Peter Huh, I think it's pronounced. He's he's looking to move to the recreational division. He reached out to me, so he won't no longer be on the team, and this team's looking to have a replacement potentially for the rest of the season. So we're still figuring that out amongst us, their team, and the other captains to make sure that they're aligned with that.
They're getting somebody from Rec Division. It's already decided, right? What's his name?
So the team, like Jones' team, they're like, confirming if they want another player. So if they say yes,
Okay, okay.
but yes, the player in consideration, his name's Frank Wu. He was on a rec
Mhm.
team last season, and he's solid. I'd say he's around that round value. So
Okay.
yeah. So I think it's a fair uh player to add as a replacement for the season. And I think actually it would probably help their team because Frank is a very like selfless player, pass first, shoots threes, doesn't need the ball in his hands. I know Jones looking for the ball. Um, who else? Yeah, everyone else is not really looking for the ball, I guess, but um, definitely like,
Jones looking for the ball on offense and defense. You remember he got Zach on that
oh my
fast break
God.
trailing.
Yeah, he
One
got
more,
his
one more,
little
one more.
one more, one more.
I told him from the sideline because he tried it like a couple minutes before that, and I told him from the sideline, it doesn't work when we're wearing black and white jerseys, bro. It doesn't work. And a couple minutes later, he got
It
it. He
worked,
got Zach to do it. He showed me,
dude.
man. He
Prove you
showed me.
wrong, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that. That's a good strategy. One per game is enough. It's hilarious.
Do you remember that play with Kevin Diaz losing the ball like right in front of Kenny?
Right in front of Kenny.
Yeah, you remember that play?
I was dying. Oh my God. Dude, he
Is
was
that gonna go on Shackton?
that's going oh yeah, that's going on for sure. That's going on the reel, man. I'm putting together the clips now. I've been on my content game recently, so
Let's
uh
go.
yeah, there's gonna be some really good laughs. What do you think about the content that's been coming out?
Dude, it's been great. I love it. I don't know what's inspiring you to do it like in the format that you've been doing it, but yeah, it's just hitting. Like it's great. So great job.
Yeah, we're just trying to make it more fun, just getting a little more personal. I feel like even though we've been playing together for a couple seasons, it's almost a little too like clicky. So trying to get everybody involved, especially the new faces. We have a ton of new faces. So, who are these guys, that always like kind of play together? How can I join in? So I want to be more inviting to everybody to kind of, join in, get to know players better. I started doing interviews. I interviewed like Sen yesterday. And
Love it.
yeah, just looking to get like more, guys involved and really get everyone, involved in the community. So that's the whole, I guess, reason to get more content out there, make it more fun.
Beautiful. I mean, that's what JP League's all about, man.
Yeah,
Love it.
man. And then I guess like closing remarks, like we have the schedule for next season, not next season, next week, Jesus. Um, Let me see real
Should we
quick.
make some quick picks?
Yeah, let's do that. So I think let's see who we have. All right, so first game next
How
season.
about you can't pick against your own team, so how about I pick for your matchup and then you pick for my matchup, and then we'll both pick for the other matchup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So at 6:30 we got your team versus Kevin Diaz, and JC's back or he's traveling.
Yeah, JC's back. Um, that's the only one who's back. Curry's still injured, and we have our last
Is
round.
Jeff Jang gonna play? Do you know?
I have no idea.
All right. I'm just gonna assume that Jeff is not playing, and I gotta go with your team. Your team looks good, especially with JC. Yeah, I like I said, I would put you guys power ranking number one, so can't pick against you guys.
Fair enough. I also have confidence in my team. Your team's next, 7:30, Paw Patrol versus Taylor Swifties. It's got to go with Paw Patrol. Brian's back. Taylor's out, so there's already like something there. If unless Taylor Swifties like playing the shooting the best of their lives, because they definitely got a lot of shots up, shot like 78 attempts, which is I think the most out of anyone shot of all the teams.
Yeah,
So if they're able to
yeah.
improve their shooting percentage and shoot hot, then maybe they have a chance. But Team Paw Patrol seems like they're very well rounded. At least like initial, I go with Team Paw Patrol.
All right. Sounds good. All right, in the 8:30 game, we got Mo Money Mo Buckets versus Saving Captain Ryan. Ooh, this one's tough because we talked about Mo's team having that size disadvantage, and Ryan's team has Zhang Qi and Yu Feng in the post.
They're
But
big.
it's like, are they actually going to utilize them the way that they should? Like, it seems so simple, but like teams forget and they don't stick to a certain game plan. And that one's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Mo Money Mo Buckets. I just trust that they're gonna play better and more together, and I think they're gonna have something to prove after last week. I like their fire. I keep going back to it. I saving Captain Ryan. Their team has to show me more fire before I could believe in them.
Yeah.
They got to compete.
Yep. Yeah, like Mo Money, Mo Buckets. I know Mo, Brandon, Luis, those guys, they're very like, driven to win. Um, Not saying the other team's not
Hmm.
either. I mean, Louis like the vet there. Zenyi's got that fire, I think. But the other guys, I feel like just need to step it up a little bit. Um, they do have that size, but I feel like Mo Money, Mo Buckets are a little bit more experienced collectively than saving Captain Ryan. So that might also be advantageous to that team. So I'd also go, I think it'd be close, but I think in the end, I think Mo Money,
Hmm.
Mo Buckets has the edge. They might win by like 5 points, 4 points, but it could go either way. I mean, that's definitely a game I want to watch because that's probably the most, for me at least, matchup wise. I want to see how that goes. And I think if I think Jeff Liu has more to prove. Like he didn't have a great week one. I think Andrew, his first game in JP League, even though it's his second season, he didn't play last season, but technically he should be a rookie as well. Um, he has a lot to prove. Anthony was hot, so if he's able to keep that fire, yeah, I see definitely something brewing there.
Yeah. All right.
All
Cool,
right, man.
bro.
Yo,
We went way over 30 minutes, bro.
what time? I can't even see like where are we, how long
We
it
went
is.
for like an hour, bro.
An hour. All right, maybe we'll have a little bit more structure for the next one. We'll just maybe we'll do like a time check or something, like quick recaps or something, quicker recaps. But that was good. It was fun. Like I like talking about this, and
Okay.
yeah, so it doesn't really matter to me, but yeah, to those watching, if they want to, really tune in, maybe they watch this on 1.5 or something. All
Yeah. We'll see how many views we get. I'm curious. And then remember to give us some feedback on what you think about this new format. And maybe like what Steve said, maybe you'd appreciate like shorter recaps or ideas for how to improve the content. We're open to anything. So yeah, man.
right, bro, you playing
I
ball?
think that's it for are you going?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go at like 6. I have the church team coming, so they're gonna have to try to play.
Okay. Yeah, I think I might go run a little bit and then go try to lift.
All right, bro. We're gonna do this next week as well. So I'll probably see you at the gym.
All right. Sounds good, man. I'll see
All
you in a
right.
little bit.
Talk to you later.